Hello everyone. Welcome to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. If you're new here, this channel slows fast headlines down and gives you the whole story, calmly, clearly, and in a format your text-to-speech can read smoothly. Today we're unpacking a single sentence that set two countries buzzing and reignited an old conversation. Yaman went on television and drew a line under his relationship with Sara, a line so firm that countless viewers immediately asked whether a very different door, one with Demet on the other side, might be opening again. Before we begin, please like this video, subscribe, and consider clicking join to support more long-form reporting told with care. The spark was brief, the echo immense. In a composed on-air appearance, chose direct language instead of diplomatic fog. The idea of marriage with Sara is impossible, because love, respect, and trust have been compromised. Even the most patient heart needs boundaries. The phrasing was formal, almost surgical, no dramatics, no improvisation, yet the studio's applause made clear that the audience understood the finality. Online, the effect was immediate, timelines flooded, clips looped, and overnight the statement graduated from soundbite to signpost. Why did a single sentence carry so much weight? Because it didn't just end a chapter, it resized a narrative. For months, silence and speculation had been wrestling for control of the story. A handful of nostalgic posts, a handful of hopeful comments, and a rhythm of maybe soon created the sense of a relationship suspended between pause and play. When named the limit, the suspense ended, and something else began. Comment sections shifted from debating if to predicting what next. That what next inevitably traced a familiar arc back to Demet. Years after their work together helped export Turkish romantic storytelling across continents, the shorthand between their names remains powerful. Fans remember scenes that felt uncoached, interviews where laughter sounded unforced, and a public poise that made the boundary between character and colleague look elegant rather than evasive. In the hours after the broadcast, the #Semit reawakened like an old song everyone still knows the chorus to. The posts were not just nostalgic, they were strategic, edits framing the new quote as a hinge, not an ending, and asking whether the hinge might swing toward reunion, friendship, or a shared project. Reports about Demet's immediate stance remained measured. Those close to her described a sense of relief rather than triumph. Clarity is oxygen, and clarity given publicly prevents 1,000 private misunderstandings. A carefully phrased reaction, shared quietly, not shouted, suggested gratitude for boundaries and a wish for the discourse to locate respectful tone. The subtext read as mature: endings can be clean, and clean endings can free everyone involved to be seen as more than a headline. In Italy, the reverberation sounded different. Cannes' image there is layered: actor, fashion presence, guest of honor, familiar face on primetime sets. The Italian press covered the broadcast with the urgency reserved for national favorites. Some columns praised the decisiveness, others asked whether dignity allows for second looks and second chances. The split wasn't hostile, it was interpretive. When a persona lives in more than one language, small shifts in tone are amplified by context. Turkey heard closure, Italy heard the courage of a boundary and the melancholy of a door closing. And Sara? The model's public posture was restraint. No rapid-fire posts, no counter-narratives. That silence was read in two ways at once, as a dignified pause, and as a strategic wait-and-see. Friends, speaking cautiously, framed her position as simple: endings can be processed without exhibition, and private conversations do not owe public transcripts. While emotion led the first waves of reaction, the industry immediately did what the industry does: ran the calculus of possibility. If a personal chapter has closed, is a professional collaboration newly plausible? Rumors about a premium series that could reunite Yaman and Demet gained velocity. Here, the market logic is obvious: a pairing with proven international magnetism, a platform hungry for cross-border hits, and a campaign that writes itself, two careers meeting again as peers under brighter, steadier lights. None of that is confirmation, all of it is context for why phones in development offices started ringing longer than usual. Psychologists invited by entertainment programs offered a parallel reading of the broadcast. One called the sentence a boundary statement rather than an attack, brief, declarative, and forward-facing, the sort of language that prevents an open-ended tug-of-war from draining both parties. Another emphasized the mental health dividend of certainty. Ambivalence, especially in high-visibility lives, is corrosive, making a clear call can look harsh from the outside while performing real care on the inside. Communications analysts, for their part, praised the venue choice. A live format removes the temptation to publish and delete, it forces coherence. A clean message, delivered once, reduces the incentive for speculation to keep proliferating. If the personal is clarified, the public remains curious about proximity. A fashion event in Istanbul, on the near horizon, lists both Can and Demet among expected guests. The invitation doesn't promise a shared frame, it guarantees a shared building. Photographers will be prepared for a handshake, a nod, a table shared for 2 minutes, or nothing at all. Experience suggests that whatever happens will be read for subtext far beyond what the moment can reasonably carry. The healthiest expectation is the smallest one. Professionals in a public space, treating the occasion as work, not as an audition for a narrative no one has agreed to play. Meanwhile, social signals kept the speculative fire warm without stoking it to chaos. A renewed like here, a polite comment there, and fan pages did the rest, stitching screenshots into hopeful arcs and gentle predictions. If you strip away the noise, what remains is rather human, a community that learned a story had ended and immediately looked for the next chapter it might be allowed to celebrate. That instinct, sometimes clumsy, often heartfelt, is the engine of pop culture memory. It can also become invasive if left unmoderated. The lesson this week: cheer for work you can verify, protect people you cannot know. The cleanest way to think about the broadcast is also the kindest. A public figure ended a speculation loop with a single, steady sentence. In doing so, he took responsibility for the message and for the effects of ambiguity on everyone involved. The sentence does not commit him to another relationship, it commits him to not recycling the last one. If a reunion with Demet Özdemir is written someday, let it be written in the language of work first, scripts, schedules, directors, craft. If friendship is what comes, that too is a grown outcome. If nothing new emerges except a quieter feed and better sleep for all 3 people named today, that is not a failure, it is a humane victory. Here's the concise, TTS-friendly summary you can quote at the end. Yaman ended public speculation by stating on TV that marriage with Sara is not possible, citing broken trust and the need for boundaries. The sentence triggered applause in the studio and a frenzy online, reviving #Semit conversations about Demet Özdemir and fueling rumors of a high-profile project. Italy and Turkey reacted with different emphases, decisiveness versus second chances, while Sara chose silence. Analysts framed the statement as a healthy boundary rather than hostility. An upcoming event may put Can and Demet in the same room, but expectations should stay professional. The real takeaway is clarity, an ending made official, and a future left open to be written by work, not by wishful captions. If you appreciate this approach, measured, contextual, and respectful, please subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, hit like, ring the bell, and consider joining the channel. In the comments, tell us what you think healthy public boundaries look like for artists with private histories, and whether a carefully curated on-screen reunion is something you'd watch for the story, not just the nostalgia. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Take care, and goodbye.